One.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday nights at 9. I am the course creator, Coach Glenda, here with my course manager, Rufus Carpenter. Rufus and I have created this format as a safe place to discuss trials, struggles, and victories in past and present relationships. This is not a one-size-fits-all open discussion. There is no topic too minor or major we cannot discuss. We encourage everyone to participate and speak their truth. This is a non-judgmental zone, so you can talk as much or as little as you would like. Mr. Carpenter?
Good evening, everybody. Hey, how you doing, Dr. Johnson? Hey,
Good.
how you doing, Ava?
Hello.
Hi, and anybody else here? Glad to have you. Once again, this is Sunday night at 9. And what we do on Sunday night at 9, we get together every week at this time, and we discuss relationship challenges, topics, questions, or anything in relationship stages of relationship we talk about. Now, this format is set up where it's 20 of you and your girlfriends are over one of your houses, and you guys are in the living room sitting back, maybe a couple you drink a little wine or whatever you think is appropriate. You drink it and you're comfortable, you relax, and you start asking questions. What about relationships? And we normally bring a topic each week, a special topic, but we don't hold you exactly to that. We want to get, when we bring a topic, we want to get the topic completely out, but we want to make sure that you have a chance to share your truth. Because sometimes you just saying it, just hear yourself put it out there, give you relief. And you got to give your own self grace, and that's what this does for you. So once again, my name is Rufus Carpenter. I am the coach and the course manager here, work alongside Glenda. And we've worked really hard to put this format together for you. And tonight we have another one of those juicy topics. What's the topic for tonight, Glenda?
Call it what you want, rules or boundaries.
Hey, I wonder what that means.
Yes, that is a very good, this is a very good topic for tonight, in all honesty. It's rules for relationships. And there are, right now, there are 6 topics that we're going to try to cover tonight in regards to rules for relationships. And I'm just going to skim through each of them just to give you the title before we hit each point individually. Never stop dating. Keep it private. Communicate always. Give authentic forgiveness. Set relationship goals weekly. And support each other. So those are the topics that we're going to try to cover this evening within the time allowed. So to start off, we're going to start with the first topic, which is never stop dating. Now, as you know, that when you're in a relationship, just because you feel, like you have him or you have her, that whatever you did to get them, you have to stop. That's absolutely incorrect, in my personal opinion. I believe that you should continue to keep dating the person. The things that you did to catch their attention or to catch their eye or to capture them in whichever way it was, you should still do it. You should continue that behavior, because anytime there's inconsistencies in your relationship may, not always, your relationship may start to shift in the other direction. So we always need to continue dating the person that we're with. And this is not just for a girlfriend and boyfriend. This is also for married couples. You want to always keep that spice in your relationship, spontaneous picnics, unscheduled weekend getaways. That's my interpretation. That's what I would consider, continuing to date even after you've committed to one another. Mr. Carpenter?
Glenda, yeah. I'm glad you gave me this pause, Glenda, because I wonder, what does dating your mate looks like? Let's say I've been married 5 years, and me and my mate, we're pretty pretty standard. You know, we love each other and we know it, but you know, we both have stressful careers, and sometimes when we're sometimes with a hard week, we kind of tired and you know might look for the weekend just to lay around the house and say, and just take your clothes off and just sit on the sofa and look at a movie or something. So, but what I'm trying to ask the audience, what is a date night? How can somebody give me some ideas of a date night if you are a long-term group or long-term union, or your long-term spouses or your long-term partners? What does a date night looks like? Give me some kind of ideas. Anybody? I saw your eyes, Angela. So apparently you must have an idea from me already. What would a date night look like?
Well, it depends on, like you say, if it's been a stressful week and you are aware of that, then it may just be a date night at home, making bath water and having treats or snacks and a good movie or just listening to music. So it depends. Because you want to keep it, you want to be sensitive to your mate, and if he had a bad week, his may be harder than yours, and you want to try and, lift him up, and and yourself as well. So, it's like preferring the other.
Okay. Any more suggestions? Thank you, Angela. That was pretty decent. I like that. Give me some more. Let's talk about some more. So that way when we get off of this, we have some tips on how to keep that love going in dating.
Well, Mr. Carpenter, Andre put in the chat, Netflix and chill with the inflation prices. So that's also a good suggestion.
But I thought he said a chili. I saw the chill. I thought we were talking about a bowl of chili. I was just, man, how did he know what I like?
No, I think it was more so chill at the house watching Netflix, sir.
Oh, man, I thought it was a bowl of chili. That winter night, man, you can hear the wind, the real wooing in there, and you got...
Hey, whatever floats your boat, whatever you want to eat that night while watching Netflix, hey, y'all both should be game for it.
All right, good deal. Give me some more. Let's get some more. Get a date night. We got in a wild and crazy folk on the line here.
Well, iPhone 15 says a dinner and a movie.
Okay, dinner and a movie. That's good. That's good. We ain't got nobody doing acrobats since it's Olympic time. Hey, I'm just talking about Olympics. That's all.
Okay. I went somewhere else with that when that came out your mouth. Okay, I really don't know what that means, but okay.
All right, and Andre says, should kids be included in date night? What do you think about that?
Not all the time. Not all the time.
All right, okay, I heard not all the time. I heard somebody in the background. What else was somebody said?
I would say, this is Annette. I would say no.
Okay, no. Annette says she want to keep it grown folk. Awesome.
Yep.
Amen.
Awesome.
That's how you build the strength of your relationship between you and the other person.
The way Annette said that, I think she is in with me. I want to see some acrobats.
Yeah.
Somebody got a little tightrope.
Oh, are you talking about the Olympics is on, acrobats is going on right now tonight?
It'll be going on that night too.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right, you move right along. Any more suggestions before we let Glenda go to the next part of this? But good walk for me. A good walk in the park, or a lot of communities have these nature trails that is really nice, and especially if you're a place where the mosquitoes aren't so bad. If you're a place where the mosquitoes aren't so bad, and right at that dusk time when you can get and walk, you and your boo can walk. You can walk about a mile, and maybe 2 miles. And you get some exercise in, some nice conversation, see a little scenery. To me, that's golden. Okay.
Okay. The next one is keep it private. Your relationship is between you and your partner. Avoid sharing too many details with others. Protect your relationship intimacy. Now, in my opinion, I will 110% agree with that, because sometimes friends and families they can be over opinionated, and they can be very judgmental. And sometimes when we tell our stories, like if I talk to my sister, she's going to always take my side, regardless of what I do, whether I'm right or wrong. So, but that's not good. When you hear the whole story from both sides, then you can make a definitive response, a more positive, more accurate response to what's going on, what's lacking, what needs to be done, how to move forward. So I try, and well, I'm gonna say I'm a work in progress, because I know that when I get upset with someone, I'm like, can you believe they just did? So I am trying very hard to keep my business to myself, because I know this is another conflict that I am terrified of, is some of my friends and families will say, well, you knew that before you even hooked up with them. I'm like, okay. I ain't need no help from the peanut gallery. But anyway, I am learning to keep my personal life and some of the things that I'm on the fence with or struggling with in my relationship. I am trying, and I'm very positive about keeping my friends and family out of that as much as possible. But, I don't know what your take or what your input would be, Mr. Carpenter. How do you feel about keeping your private life separate and to yourself?
Well, I want to hear from our audience first before I weigh in on the subject.
Okay, no problem. Audience, what do you think
thoughts?
about keeping your personal life and intimate life private, and keep your friends and family out of it?
Somebody want to share? And the reason why
I do.
Go ahead.
All right, Dr. Johnson.
Yes, keeping friends and family out of your relationship and private relationship is important, because it can backfire on you.
Absolutely.
They'll take one side without knowing both sides.
Correct.
And it can more affect the relationship rather than help it.
You said some major things there, because if it's two in a relationship, when it becomes three in a relationship, that's a little much. That's a little much. Have anybody got any stories or any nightmares or horror stories they can share about when people get in when you invite others into your relationship? Anybody got anything they want to share?
I kind of would share. This is Andre.
Hi.
A friend of mine told me that he bought his girlfriend a car, and said that when he bought his girlfriend a car, all of his friends began to get upset because he bought it. Well, I explained to him, I said, I don't understand why they're upset. It's not their money, and you didn't ask them for their money. But now, even though he regrets it now, I just thought that they should have never had any say so on what he was doing with his money to begin with.
Okay.
Agreed.
Right. And had he not shared his business, he wouldn't have had to deal with the comments.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Why you keep it between you and your significant other versus bringing in others, because everybody is not going to be objective. It'd be one-sided. Like Glenda says, her sister's going to always stand with her, regardless of whether she's right or wrong. And outside sharing your business with friends or family can cause the same thing. And then others may not know how to conduct themselves around them after you've shared things. It's none of that. So if you don't share, then you had to worry about that.
Yeah.
And if you having problems like that, then maybe you ought to go to a counselor and leave it there, because the counselor is obligated by the HIPAA law to keep your business.
Correct.
And so if you need to invest in your relationship. If you feel like you must talk outside of you and your spouse or you and your significant others, get you some counseling, because they're going to keep it under wraps.
Right.
You know what? When I view this, I view it as a trust issue, because if me and you come together as a couple, me and you come together as a union, me and you come together as a partnership, me and you come together as a marriage, or what have you. If you share our relationship with someone else, to me, that's trust. You just broke the trust.
Right.
What I have with you is intimately ours, yours and mine. When you start talking our business to everybody else, to me, you just broke the trust. Because when I go with you and your girlfriend looking at me, ooh, let's start saying, I know something. You know, that when you start doing that stuff, it lets me know that maybe I have the wrong person on the other end. I say it's a trust issue.
Yeah.
Any comments? No comments? All right, we ready to move on to the next one?
Yes. If there is no
Who has
comment.
that? What did iPhone 15 says? What was that iPhone 15? I couldn't read it. It went too fast.
It says when you keep others in your relationship, things go wrong. When you become friends again, they're mad and you are not.
Yeah, I was looking at something today called Country Wayne, and that was some mess. Everybody was in everybody's business.
Mhm.
That was a circus. and I guess I looked at that today for prep for this. And that lets me know I don't want anybody in my business. As a matter of fact, couldn't nobody come and tell me anything about my woman. If somebody come tell me, let me tell you about your woman, I'm gonna say, stop, time out, stop the madness. You ain't gonna tell me nothing about my woman because I don't want to hear it. All right, and stop it right there, because people will come and tell you, oh, you should go. Time out, time out, and that's the way I see it. All right. Any comments before we move along? All right, let's move along.
All right, we have communicate always. Let's see. Healthy communication is the oxygen to your relationship. Without it, it will die. Silence is not golden when it comes to your relationship. And I am a firm believer of communicating throughout your relationship, whether it's something good or something bad. If you always keep the door open for communication, regardless of if someone is critiquing you or someone is complimenting you, you should always be receptive. I know one of my biggest issues in relationships, they always would say, well, you don't communicate. I said, yes, I do. You're just not listening. That's it. You're not listening. The only time you hear me is when my voice is raised, and it shouldn't take all that. So, a lot of my relationships, that was a huge issue, but they had selective hearing. They only heard what they wanted to hear, especially when it was benefiting them. But you should always communicate in your relationship. If you don't like something that doesn't feel right, look right, smell right, talk about it. Okay. Anybody have any comments on communicating always? Any examples or just some feedback on that topic alone?
Andre said when it's benefiting them is key. They'll talk when it's benefiting them.
Absolutely.
And that sounds like a one-way street.
Absolutely.
Love on a one-way street.
Absolutely.
One-way street runs out. A lot of people tell me that time is a big thing in love. They said time. Oh man, how do you spell love? T-I-M-E, time. Time is important. Time is very, very important. But communication is the key for real. You can actually love a person. You can love them with the best of your intentions, with all your heart and soul. If you don't communicate that love, and if you really ain't showing it, but if you're not communicating it, you will lose someone that's really near and dear to you because they never heard it come out your mouth.
But saying it all the time is important. I will agree, but you also have to show it. It's not always with gifts. It's with actions. In my person, whether it's, if I'm not feeling well, you taking care of the kids when I'm sick, instead of expecting for me to take care, to assume full responsibilities, even when I'm not feeling 100%, taking out the trash instead of me asking you to take out the trash. How about you bring me something for lunch, not me always packing your lunch? I am big on communicating, like Mr. Carpenter says. It's very important, it's key, but also you also have to show your love, as well as, just tell someone constantly that you love them, because just by you saying it, and I'm looking at, well, you just called me a bitch last week in the argument. That's how you love me? No. We got two different two different definitions of love, and everybody don't love the same way. So when you communicate how you love somebody, whether it's with gifts or with me just only telling you and never showing you, you need to let that know. Because I know people that say they love me and they dog me out on a regular. I said, wow, can you please help? Can you please hate me? Because that's what you're showing me.
Well, you talking about two different types of communication. You talking about you're talking about a verbal and a nonverbal communication.
It's still, but you were talking about love.
Yeah, we're talking about love, but we're talking about communication. Communication, first message sent, message received. Just
Right.
that simple. Message sent, message received. Whether
Okay.
it's verbalizing it, whether it's saying, hey, Glenda, I love you very much, to the depth of my heart, and I want you to know that. Or whether it's doing the things like you say, act of services, and that's nonverbal, where I'm doing it in action. I'm doing it acts of service. I'm showing it that way. So there's two different ways, and either way works. A combination of them works perfectly. But right now, we're just trying to get the basic communication. Lesser audience, help us out. Me and Glenda, we in a heated battle here right now. How do you communicate? Is it one over the other? Is it the acts of service and actual nonverbal communication is the better? A better dog in a fight, or is it the verbal? I'm saying it through, you heard it coming out of my mouth. Which would you prefer? Somebody help me out. I need some help here because this is a one dog in a fight here.
I prefer action. This is Annette.
Okay.
Action, to me, action speaks louder than words.
Absolutely.
I prefer action.
I agree with Annette.
What makes the difference?
Amen.
Okay, action. Got two actions.
I would like a mixture.
Okay, I got a mixture of both. Any more way in? So far we got action so far. Well, they ain't verbalizing it. Ain't nothing. Verbalizing is dead by itself, huh? Is that like that Bible thing? Is that
Yeah.
what's that? How
Faith
that
without
verse goes?
works.
What now?
Faith without works.
Yeah, that faith without works is dead.
That's right. So I need a mixture of both.
Have you listened actively listening?
Talk is cheap.
What did 15 say? Read them. I can't keep up with the chat. Can you help us out, Glenda? What did that say?
Let's see. You have to listen actively. Listen to each.
Well,
that's from iPhone 15.
I think I had an issue of I wouldn't say it, but I would definitely try to show it. Because I never heard my dad, I don't think I ever heard my dad say he loved anybody, to tell you the truth. I think my dad said he loved a dog. We had a dog named Brownie, and he loved Brownie. And that's the only time I heard my dad say anything about he loved something.
Why? Because he didn't talk back?
Huh? What now?
Because it didn't talk back. Did he say why?
That's probably why he left. I'm sorry. I had to go there. I'm sorry. I apologize with that one. This was just a gimme.
It's okay. Laughter is good for the soul.
But I'm telling you, and I'm not saying it as a joke, but I never heard my dad say, that's the only thing I heard my dad say he loved was a dog. We had a dog named Brownie. So me not saying I love you, I think was a part of the way I was reared. I didn't know, I thought you had to show it, not so much say it. So it took me a long time. Matter of fact, church taught me how to say I love you. Because then I realized I can love everybody. I can love my enemy. I can love my friend. I can love anybody. So church taught me that. It wasn't relationship training. It wasn't with long-term. This church taught me how to say I love you and mean it. And mean it from my heart and from my soul. So I learned, and I didn't learn until later in life.
Okay.
All right. So, ladies, we got two that say they want acts of service. They want it shown. We got one that said it had to be both, and I said to say it. So right now it's acts of service. It's got to be shown more than anything else. Right. Anybody else want to weigh into this before we go on to the next subject?
Yeah, I do.
Who is that?
Me, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon, how you doing? I missed your voice
How
at
you
time. I'm
doing?
sorry.
Oh, I know it. But I'm like, it has to be shown to me. I don't care what you say. You can say anything, but if your actions don't meet up with your words, it's a wrap.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, I guess that says it all. I guess we can move on. Always, always
Excuse
communicate.
me, this is I saw an older couple. They were very old, and I had no reason to know whether or not they were in love with each other or not, because I've heard them say many things to each other that I could have taken to be argumentative. But I actually had an opportunity when they didn't know I was watching them, and they were just sitting there holding each other's hands, and they looked at each other and smiled, and I could see their love. And I thought to myself, this is beautiful. I see their love. They wasn't trying to show off or show it to me or anybody else. It's just that I happen to have seen that. And to me, that spoke volume. I think, to me, action speaks louder than words.
Okay,
Absolutely.
got
That's
it.
it. Yeah,
Got it.
cool.
So I guess the love language on this one is acts of service and gifts. Acts of services and gifts. Okay, moving right along.
Okay, we have give authentic forgiveness. When you forgive, truly let go. Do things, don't bring up the past mistakes. Focus on moving forward together. Forgiveness heals wounds.
Anybody don't think that can really forgive? Because I heard I forgive you, but I ain't forgot it.
Well, that is true to a degree. I mean, but when you bring it back up, that's where the problem comes in. I mean, unless you have amnesia, you get knocked over the head, you're not gonna forget. But when you say you don't forget, are you gonna hold it against them until death do you part?
Well, forgiveness is a choice. And forgiveness really is more for the individual that's holding the other person captive, because really you're the one that's is affecting you more than the other person who may have committed it. So forgiveness is a choice. You have to choose to forgive. You may not even be ready.
Right.
But God knows that. You can ask him for help because he understands that. But it's a choice that you have to make because it's better for you. Because sometimes the other person that moved on and you still stewing and what was.
Right.
And it's not affecting the other person. It's only affecting you.
Absolutely.
And it can cause sickness and all types of stuff. So forgiveness is a choice. And sometimes it takes a process. But on your own, a lot of times it depends on how bad the hurt was. You know, it may be a process, but you have to first decide, I've got to forgive for my own health.
Absolutely.
So once you make that choice and you ask God to help you, he will help you and it will come sooner.
Yep.
And that's what I mean by it being a process.
Right. It don't happen overnight. You're absolutely right. And
But
that's
you
actually
have to choose
absolutely
to do it. Because if you hold it, it's going to hurt you.
Yes.
And it's just wasted time. Time is of the essence.
To me, this Sharon again, y'all. To me, it's not a matter of forgiveness or choosing to forgive, because we're human and we were born into the emotions and feelings and stuff that we have. But it's not a matter of forgiveness, because who's gonna really forgive if it's always gonna be something that bothers you? And like you said, like we just said, forgive, but I haven't forgotten. I think it's a matter of accepting that we all make mistakes and we're not perfect. So let's get past it.
Right.
Yeah, forgiveness is not easy. And from a personal experience with it, and just piggybacking off a couple of things that Angela said, that the hurt was deep, and I had to I had to go to the scriptures. I had to read the scriptures, the promises, and, focus on forgiveness and pray through that. It wasn't easy, and it was a process for me. And when I don't know how long it took, but it took a while. And when I knew that the forgiveness had really taken place, it didn't hurt me anymore.
Wow.
When I thought about the person or whatever, even the situation, and even the situations didn't even come back to memory as far as me remembering the person. But during that process, I have read a scripture that said, think about the good things, of a person or anything. And when I read that and I was going through the process, I'm like, thinking, what good? But when that forgiveness finally came, when I thought about that person, it didn't hurt anymore. And that's when the scripture came back to me about, think about the good things. And I thought about some good of that person. So I knew that forgiveness had taken place.
And then too, just to add to that, when, with me, with my experience, because, I've had hurt and it was deep and it did take a process, but once it kicked in and the forgiveness part kicked in, I actually felt sorry for the person, and then I was able to pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Able to pray for them. And I was thinking of one person, then, two people. And one of them, I saw the person and it was like they mind. They had kind of, you could tell that they had a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And so I prayed harder for them, because what I saw was real. But the hurt in the past, it could have caused me to go there, but it didn't. But just to think, seeing the person later. I mean, I did get to a point I forgave her and was praying for her. But then when I saw her some years later, I said, that mind have gone. She done had a breakdown.
Right.
And so forgiveness, it's a choice, because when I found out reading scriptures and taking them and applying them, it was becoming easier. And when the process kicked in, I was free.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay, anybody else got anything about forgiveness they want to bring out now at this point?
Yeah, this is Annette again. I think for me, and it's good to hear what the other participants are saying, but for me, I don't think I ever forgive. I think I just look at them and move on. I hear the scripture, I hear this, and I know what we're supposed to do. But I think once you have wronged me, I don't forgive you. I just move on. I might not bring it up or throw it up in your face. I know I won't throw it in your face. I won't bring it up, but it is still in my heart. I just move on, and I can still do something for that person or be friendly with that person. But you better believe I have never forgiven them. That's just the way I am.
Did you
That's
say
it.
you'll still do something for them?
Yes, I will. I would do something good for them. I would still be me. I don't let what they've done to me change me. I stay the person I am. I stay true to me.
Absolutely.
And I would do for them and help them, but I still in my heart have not forgiven them. And I know they've done something to hurt me, and I can look them directly in their eyes, and I know what I feel, but still, if they need me, I'll do what I can do to help them. That's just me.
And
you
won't have any bias or bias towards them because of what they've done in the past?
No, because I feel in my heart they'll get their just reward.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm not the person to give it to them because it wasn't me. But whatever they're looking for, they'll get. And I feel like they'll get it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Anybody else will weigh in on that?
It was something that Annette said that jogged my memory a little bit. I remember that when I was going through my hard times with my husband, my brother had told me, he said, don't never let nobody stop you from being who you are. And,
Yes.
when she said that, I was like, yeah, because, a lot of times, I know my dad, he always said, don't let this make you bitter. Like you'll never date men again, you'll never
Yeah.
date at all. And I was like, and I held on to that because I was like, this is just one bad experience. It's not going to break me, and I'm not going to let it break me. But when you had said what you said in that, it just made me think, regardless of how you treat me, I'm going to
Yeah.
still be Glenda. I may
That's
not
right.
fool with you as much. And
Correct.
if I do something for you, it will have limits. Trust me, because I'm
Yes.
working on practicing saying no. But
Yeah.
it's not going to stop me from being me.
That's right. That's the way I feel too. Yeah.
And I can agree with you in regards to that. Yes, I
Yeah.
will agree.
Thank you.
Okay. Any additional on before I weigh in on it? Because there's a flip side of this that I noticed in recent years, and it
Okay.
bothered me somewhat. When a person come to you and they wronged you and they realize they wronged you and they said, hey, look, I apologize. Would you forgive me for what I've done? And you said, okay, no problem. I forgive you. Hey, it's all forgotten in the sea of forgetfulness. And we good. Then they come back again. Same thing. Hey, look, I slipped again. Forgive me again. Okay. Sea of forgetfulness. Forgot it again. But to me, here's what I noticed. That person said that, hey, look, you forgave me, so let's not talk about it. Let's move on. We're done. But it's almost like a get out of jail free card. I'm going to do what I want to do now, and I'm going to come to you and ask you to forgive me. Then I'm going to go back out there and do what I'm big and bad enough to do again. What do you do in circumstances like that? Do you forgive them 7 times 70? Or do you say, you the wrong apple for me? I'm gonna go find another tree to shake. What do you do in that circumstance? Somebody help me.
Oh, you ain't gonna do it but one time.
Who's speaking?
I believe in forgiveness, but you ain't gonna do it but one time, buddy.
I say load the chopper and let it rain on them.
What?
I say load the chopper and let it rain on them.
Oh.
That's what I say.
Well, people would do, as much as they can or believe that they can get away with.
What you allow.
Right,
What
right.
you allow.
Because you allow that. They already know that you have a good spirit and you're going to forgive them. So it's like, it doesn't matter how many times I do it. They're going to forgive me regardless. So my thing is, I don't count past 2. I can't, I'm not, you offend me twice, that's it. And I tap out. I mean, you can call and text all you want to. You will be going to voicemail and I will be ignoring your text messages, but it's nothing past 2.
Andre said something very important. That's knowing your boundaries. And
right.
Knowing your boundaries. Knowing your boundaries. And habitual offender. Yep, that's what it is.
Habitual offender.
Yep.
And what you do, Charlene says to block them. Blockity block them.
Okay, block them. Okay.
Right.
All right. All right. Anything else on this before we go into the next one? We all minds are clear. All right, Glenda.
Okay, we have set relationship goals weekly. Discuss what you both want to achieve. Plan fun activities. Work on improving your bond. Goals help your relationship grow stronger.
Hold up, before you say anything, Glenda, is that practical, y'all?
Yes.
Read that again, Glenda.
Okay.
Read it again. Because cause when you read it, I said, oh hell. Go ahead, read it again. Then I'll ask the question.
Okay. It's set relationship goals weekly. Discuss what you both want to achieve. Plan fun activities. Work on improving your bond. Goals help your relationship grow stronger. That's realistic.
Wait. Now I ain't asked you, Glenda. Let's ask the audience. Me and you come on the end part. Is that realistic, y'all?
Be intimidated.
Oh, I'm telling you now. Is that realistic, y'all? I want to hear y'all. Is that realistic, or that's a bunch of hype?
That's a bunch of hype.
Okay.
So,
or anybody else? Because he will keep it real on this show. We want to keep it real. Because the stuff we give you, we want to give you something that you can use. We don't want to just say, what the hell they talking about? Somebody said, sounds good. Is it realistic?
Not weekly. I don't think it's good weekly. I mean, it's a good mindset to do that, but not to, you're setting up someone to fail for them to do that weekly. You're setting one of your partners going to fail, and so it's good you can set that as a goal to do so, but not weekly. Maybe monthly or quarterly or something of that nature. But weekly, someone's going to fail because life happens, and so I think it's just setting someone up to fail. That's just what I think.
In my neighborhood, we catch hell paying bills weekly. Relationship goals. Hell.
Some people had trouble paying monthly goals, so it doesn't matter.
Keep groceries in the house. Yeah. So what's a real goal? How can we word that? Set goals. What kind of relationship? What kind of goals can we set as realistic? How would that look in our neighborhood? What would that look like? Somebody give me some help. Anybody here relationships?
I'm silent on that one.
That's why it needs to be done weekly.
We got secret lovers in the house.
No.
Secret lovers in the house.
No.
Hey, what the guy says, if only for one night. Okay, let's be realistic. Yeah, let's say, because I know, let's say if we're in here, a goal going to cruise in 6 months. Okay. A goal would be be able to buy our first house in a year, or trade up your car. Let's trade your car out in 6 months or 5 months, or let's go to Las Vegas and just blow a week, blow a weekend, and just. I'm trying to put this together here a little bit. What are some realistic goals that we can do as a relationship? It don't have to be wife or husband or wife. It could be boyfriend and girlfriend, or friend and friend. What are some of the goals? What are some of the goals you guys have? A house is a large goal. Can you pay for a small trip? Okay, to the next city or state. That's a good one. Because this is summertime, and I know a lot of us have things we're going to do this summer. If it's no more going to the beach, if it's no more going to a cruise or going, what you do? What are some of the things you guys have done this summer? What are some of the things you're going to do? Because I'm sure there's somebody special, even if you got to go for yourself. How am I going to treat Rufus? How's Felicia going to treat Felicia? How's Ava going to treat Ava?
Take a solo trip to Orlando.
Hey, that's a goal. That's a goal. Would that help you love yourself better?
Yep.
Rest my case. If I survey the people that's on this line, I bet you half of you have done something the first part of summer already. Whether it's with your family, your boo, or by yourself, you've put something together. And I bet half you got something together between now and September. Now in December, you've got something planned. So what's that said? Coach, I did retail therapy last weekend and brought a new jacket and a purse. Well, that's something.
So excuse me, Rufus. I think I'm not understanding the way you're taking this, because I thought what the question was saying, what goals do we set together with our significant other to keep our relationship going? Is that
okay? Is
that right?
No, what that mean to you? Share what that mean to you, Annette.
Oh shoot, I don't know. What do
you talking about what I'm saying?
He was trying to get clarity on the question because it sounded like we had got off track.
No, we didn't get off. What we did, we gave it some more options, because what the thing says that you plan weekly goals. Nobody on this line is going to do a weekly relationship goal. In my way of thinking, I might be wrong, but I don't think nobody on this line tonight are planning weekly relationship goals with their significant other. I could be wrong, but when I saw that, I shook my head and says, no way. So this is why I'm saying that it may be something longer. You may once a year, twice a year, or you may do quarterly goals, or somebody. I think that Felicia Cleveland said monthly goals.
So
And
maybe we could.
I think Felicia Johnson is a travel agent. Felicia, how many people travel? How many couples you know that do travel goals set? How many travel goals have you booked for couples that said we want to go recharge our batteries or we want to go do some things? What are some of the places couples are going in travel, Felicia?
A lot of them are going to Jamaica.
Okay, Jamaica.
Yeah, for the summer.
What are they telling you as the reasons for doing this?
Well, some of them to celebrate birthdays or celebrate different occasions, anniversaries, or some just for a weekend getaway.
Right. And how long now are they planning this week to week? Are they planning 6 months out or a couple months out?
No, some plan a year in advance, but most of the ones lately are kind of impromptu. They just decided to go away and want to go away. Sometimes within 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I think a lot of them are trying to take time together before school comes back, return, and kids have to go back to school and that kind of thing, kind of some me time. But then most of my travelers, a lot of them are solo travelers too, are girl trips. Girls just hanging out together that's not stopping because they're not in a relationship. It's not stopping them from traveling. So I have a lot of my travelers are solo travelers as well.
So they're dating themselves pretty much.
I think that's the best way to date yourself.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Felicia. I appreciate that. What's the name of your travel agent? So since you're talking about, you would throw your plug. What's the name of your travel agent?
Gotta Go Travel.
Oh, there, you about bad as Glenda. You about bad as Glenda. Glenda,
I like it.
no relationship. Okay. Okay, that's awesome. You and Glenda got something in common. But I brought that up to tell you that we have things, we plan relationship things, but we just don't plan them every week. We don't have a calendar up and say this week we're gonna go to the movies, this week we're gonna go do this week we'll hold hands in the park. We don't do that. I mean, I don't see us doing that. I might be wrong. I don't see us doing it. I might be wrong.
Let me say something. My sister and her friend, every Sunday for as long as I can remember, it's been over a year, they have a game night every Sunday. They play cards, and whatever the season is, they watch that sport. It's awesome. Every Sunday.
That's a blessing. They're a truly blessed couple.
Yeah, and the only reason why, if it doesn't happen, is because she out of town, probably at my house.
You stopping there at night.
But what's so funny, I will say this, please let me say this. When she's with me and she's not at home doing their game night on Sunday nights, they're on the phone playing Monopoly on Sunday. I'm like, so you're gonna still keep up with your game night. So whether he's out of town or she's out of town, they still have their game night every Sunday.
And that's rewarding. I'm glad you brought that up. So I stand corrected. Some of us do that. So that's awesome.
And that was free. It's free.
I stand corrected. And then we should do that. We should try to figure out how in you and your significant other, or you and your boo, or you and your special person, or you and your person can figure out how to do things and schedule some things that you can do. There's some fun activities that can help extend your love, to keep those fires burning. Absolutely. Put another log on it. You know, how can you do those things? And that's great. That's awesome. So more power to that. All right, what's next?
Ditto that.
What, Angela?
I said ditto that.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, because love, I think love in the air. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it in the air.
And it's not even February around Valentine's Day. So that means that you'll be sealing your deal here quick too, Mr. Carpenter, right?
Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo, woo. And woo, woo, some more.
All right, are we ready for our last point of tonight? Okay, support each other. Be each other's biggest cheerleader. Encourage dreams and ambitions. Stand by each other in tough times. Teamwork makes love stronger.
Now that's a good.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's good. I'm glad that's the last one because that's a powerful thing to support each other. I'm beginning to realize that if you and your mate can work hand in hand, you can, there's nothing in the world you can't accomplish.
True.
That's a biggie. That's a biggie. If you find somebody that you can work hand in hand with and you guys can share goals and see that vision together, if you can do that, that's unreal. Somebody told me something recently. Told me that, hey, look, you didn't know that things work better when they're in your life. When you have that right person in your life that's supporting you and helping you get to that next place, you seem to go faster. You seem to move faster. You seem to get there.
Because they have your best interest at heart.
Yes, that's really, this one is a big one. Support each other. What does that look like? Glenda, how can your boo support you? What does that look like for you? For your boo to support you, what does that look like?
Being available when I need him the most.
Okay, right. That works. That works. Anyone else online? What does that look like when that person of interest support you? When your person of interest support you, what does that look like? Anybody want to weigh in? We got any brave souls online?
I think when that person can look into your dream or whatever it is you're trying to do, and they can offer constructive criticism and give you things to help you promote you, I think things like that is supportive and good.
Okay.
Fair. And that doesn't even have to be husband and wife or girlfriend and boyfriend. That's just, it can be two opposite sex friends, to be honest.
Yes.
Because when you look at most households today, there are two people, and it needs both incomes to kind of make it work. It needs both incomes to kind of make it work. So if you're dating somebody and you and somebody are interested in going long term, and you out here fending for yourself and Valley doing it, they fending for themselves, Valley doing it. Suppose what would that look like with two single people supporting each other? What would that look like? Because I think we know what a husband and wife would look like. But what if two single people that's got a bond or got a relationship or got a partnership or however you want to call it, how would that look for them to support each other?
And this can be friends?
It can be anything they want to be. They said two people that want to be with each other should have the right to be with each other. That's what
you're talking about still coupled up, booed up.
Yeah,
okay.
coupled up.
Okay.
Any comments? Come on, let me hear your output. Team, let's say what it like. Oprah and Stedman are good examples. Yes. If I was Stedman, I keep that example. I won't break that example.
Yeah, it works for them. It really does. And that was an excellent example.
I'm just having fun. I'm saying, hey, the night's a night. I just like to have fun. I get with you guys online. I just get to smiling. Let's give some more examples. What support looks like? What would it look like for two single people supporting each other? What would it look like? Do it look like they're moving in? Do it look like they would investment together? Look like they would spend more time trying to help each other get to their goals?
If it's girlfriend and boyfriend, I wouldn't suggest moving in together or making a major purchase. I think that should come when you are legally committed to one another, because at any given time, you know, you could go separate ways, and then you have the, you know, depending on how much the major purchase was, you got to figure out how you're going to split it, maybe even get an attorney, go to court. See, I was told keep it separate until you get married.
All right, that's your one view. Let's hear some more views in there. We appreciate your view. Any more views? Got any more comments? Because this is a.
I agree with Glenda.
Okay, that's
Who
Ava.
is that?
Glenda,
That's Ava.
I knew that voice. But now think about it. There's 20 of your girlfriends in the living room. Y'all talking about relationships. Everybody got an opinion. When you and your girlfriends in the living room talking, you got a couple glasses of wine. Everybody's saying something.
Ain't nobody drinking wine tonight.
Well, you don't know. We don't know they got in their house. They're in their house.
I am.
I didn't see. I told you. You don't know.
All right, what you got to say on the topic?
Well, I just think the person, you know, two single people should try to you know, be equally yoked to bring the same things to the table. You know, I mean, because it makes it difficult, you know, because I dated someone who was, you know, for me, it was hard for me dating someone self-employed because, you know, I was working and he was self-employed. So it was difficult for him to bring the same thing to the table that I was bringing, because I felt like I was always the one that was, seemed like I was always the one that was bringing more to the table than he was bringing to the table because of the lack of finances that he had, even though it wasn't a lot of going out, but it just seemed like I was covering a lot of bases, you know, more than, so it wasn't equally to me. So I just feel like, you know, it should be equally yoked in that sense.
Right.
Who just said you were getting the short end of the stick? Who's that?
That's what that Coach Glenda said that.
Okay.
She felt like she was getting the short end of the stick.
Is Felicia, what stage of his business? His business a startup, or his business he had been in business for a while?
No, he was handyman, self-photographer. So mainly his business was, he was a photographer for like weddings and you know, parties and things like that was his primary business. And then he always also helped out did handyman work as well, but that he didn't really have his own client base. So he was always helping someone who had a real business. So he was like the person who was like a helper in a sense, but not necessarily building his own client base. So he couldn't really predict his income, you know. So he really couldn't predict his income, you know, basically, you know, because it's based on client need, based on need.
Understand.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
Understand. So that was his level. So he was going to be at that level for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, ladies, as we got 2 minutes to kind of wrap this up. I didn't know time got by us so quick on this subject. I thought this was a little light thing that we'd get through pretty quick. Wow. So right now, anybody have anything they want to say before we turn this over to Glenda? Okay, Glenda, it's on you.
Well, I want to say thank you for everyone that sacrificed and took time out to join our open discussion tonight. And if all minds are clear, we can sign off and get back to either watching the Olympics or get ready for bed for tomorrow's productive week.
Or finish the wine bottle.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
See you next week, same place, same time. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.